We're here at Way Jiu-Jitsu. This is the brand new gym of John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, and Garry Tonon. It's not open to the public yet, just private pros. I just walked through, it's beautiful. It's about to walk in and give you a tour real quick. As you can see, it's still under construction. Here's the mat space. I think Gordon said 3,200 feet. You got Gordon Ryan himself teaching a class.
Across the grip. We start with the grip, get the weight off one of the knees, and then what separates the ankle with our knees inside is the kipping motion. Kip, bring everything inside, and now we're ready to go to counter all kinds of
they're still building out, but it's like you can see it's to be great mat space. Everything's super nice. It's not like an old sleazy gym. Most people that train jiu-jitsu know the gyms or the lockers are just disgusting and dirty. We got a nice locker, shower there. Nice. I don't know what all this is, but it's cool. Tons of lockers. Put in 3 more showers. Oh, more showers. So we got what, 6, 7 showers. This is well, people that train jiu-jitsu know this, and usually put like 1 or 2 dirty showers right away. So this is a huge add-on.
Well, it's because when we first started training, you were like the only person who could hold me a mount, and I was also pissed.
I know. I think I remember that was that day when you figured it out. And like you just let me mount you over and over, and you just keep me up.
Between you and Doug holding me a mount,
yeah,
and Shaheen not allowing me to hold in the mount, that was just like one of my most frustrating
that day you figured out how to just get on my mount. I was just so fucking broken. Because that's once I get on a mount, they usually can't get me out, and you're just bloop out. Because the first time, like you got lucky, then you did it again. Fuck this guy.
Yeah, I figured it out.
No, but this is that little detail you add. It's crazy.
If he has the inside knee position, then we go cross hip. And from here, what we're gonna do, he has a strong cross face. What we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go into that same bridge into the cross face, and we're going to start our kipping motion out to the side. Where we kip, get our knees to the inside, and go into all of our attacks from here. Okay, same thing. If we feel like we start a kip to one side, and the kip isn't working, then we just push across, and we use that reinforced wedge with the hands to push across to the other side, and we can kip out like so. So on one side, we go in, and we're pushing with the elbow to push our partner out and away, and frame. And then we go back to the opposite side, we're using a reinforced wedge with the hands to push across and bring everything to the inside position. So now we look at what our partner's body position is. If we feel that we have the inside elbow position, we can get our elbows inside the knees and directly under our hands. We use double hip post to go into a kip, side to side. If we feel that our partner walks the knees up and he has the inside knee position, now when we try to go into a kip from here, this is easy situation for him to punch underhooks in. Easy position for him to pull elbows up. Easy position for situation for your hands to slip off. So instead we go cross hip post with the reinforced wedge where we post on top of our own hand. And now we go in. The first kip, we go in to one side, and that brings our left elbow inside the knee. Now when we go to kip to the opposite side, our left elbow stays inside the knee, and now we bring everything incrementally back to the inside position. Knees and elbows connect, and we're into all of our counter offense. All right, let's try that.
I'm just saying what this kipping, like it's very simple as you can see recording it, but I've never seen anyone teach this move well. This is a move that very few people have good kipping escapes. He taught someone a kipping escape like last month that I started with, and I came back and I have one of the hardest mount escape, and this fucker escaped my mount. It was just insane, like a very controversial person at the moment.
Yeah, we spent like I spent like 4 days teaching Garrick how to do mount escapes.
Dude, I couldn't believe how well he kipped. I was like just like in shock.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he's big, you know, 270, but he's still fucking. You know how hard my mount is to escape.
Yeah.
Like you're the only guy that just blows right. They're literally the only guy that just blows right out of my mouth.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed the day you figured that out.
He goes, Jake's coming right after you, and I was like, that'll be a perfect text for mount escape. You can escape Jake's mount.
I couldn't believe they escaped my mount.
Different frames. Now let's look at a simple kazushi that we can hit to off-balance our partner before we go into a kip, regardless of what hand position we have. So this time he has a cross face. all we're gonna look to do is hit a quick bridge to the opposite side we're looking to kip. So if we're looking to kip out to our left, we're looking to bridge, hit a big bridge towards the side of the crossface. What we're gonna do first is we're just gonna give a quick bridge out to the right to get his weight onto his right knee, here, okay? What everyone's gonna do, go back, don't even give a bridge that big, just give a small bridge to just get the weight off of his right knee, good. What everyone's gonna do from here when they feel this initial bridge is they're gonna pressure back towards you and try to put that knee back on the floor. So the second she goes to bridge, he's just gonna instinctually move his weight back towards me. Good. This small off balance will make a world of difference. All we're gonna do is give a quick, short bridge out to the right, just to get our partner thinking that the escape is gonna start right and have him push back left. As he pushes back left, we're gonna give a big bridge left and start our kipping escape. So small bridge followed immediately by a big bridge. And that makes the kip so much easier because your partner's weight's already moving in that direction. If you start off with a bridge towards me, all of Brendan's weight is gonna be moving back towards Helena to put the knee back in position. Okay? So what we do is we make it like we're gonna start the kip in the wrong direction, which is against the cross-face pressure. And that elicits a pushback reaction towards me. And then the kip, the initial bridge starting the kip makes everything so much easier. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just hit a quick kazushi, whether we have 2 hands in the hip or switch to a cross hip post. So now, instead of just starting a kip out in this direction where Brandon knows it's coming and you can just sit all the way back towards the hips and recenter, what we're gonna do is we're gonna give a small bridge, 1, and immediately 1, 2, right into the kip. And that makes the kip so much easier, and then we start side to side kipping for however many times we need, side to side until we get our knees to the inside. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna give a quick pop, not a big bridge, just a pop. To the second we hit the pop, we feel the weight coming back in towards us, we start to kip in the opposite direction. And that makes the kip so much easier, and now we can go in and get to our escapes. Obviously you're drilling, so the escapes aren't hard to begin with, but when you're training live, it's gonna make a huge difference.
I think you could make things work different ways, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think this is the best way, what you're showing. It's like superior to what I was doing, and I had a really good kipping escape. This is totally different. Not totally different, but it's that side to side and the bump with the knees.
Yeah.
Are you actually hitting the knees with the butt, kind of?
Yeah. So the top knee. So
yeah.
whichever side you're going to, the top knee is always in the tailbone because it inserts right,
and then you start shaking,
yeah.
And then. Not the most important. One of the important parts is once you start up, you don't go back down.
Yeah.
Right?
Once the knee's off the
once
floor.
Once I lift it up, if I don't lift back down, I escape every time.
Yeah. Once the knee's off the floor, you have to keep the knee off the floor.
Because I was doing a different form of kipping where I was going down, and I realized that bump up, even without these bridges, still works every time.
Pulling
I wasn't
people
even
over
doing these bridges, and it still worked every time.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't going against world champion, so.
Hand to our partner's hip if we have the inside elbow position, or we take the right hand across to a cross hip post if he has the inside knee position. Left, and then that forces him to post the elbow, and then we start kipping. We bring this hand back into the inside, and we go into our kip either to one side or side to side. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is he has everything tight, and his hips are down, and we're locked in place here. Right now, the mistake everyone makes when they get tied up is if they just start to bridge and kip to one side, it doesn't really force our partner's elbow open, and it's hard to get the hand free because of the fact that it's just you're starting on one side. So the second you go to start bridging and kipping to this side, Brandon just sags his weight back down and makes it difficult to get one knee off the floor. So what we do is we use that same off balance where we bridge first out to the right, just a short explosive bridge, just the pop of the hips. Keep your hands locked. Just the pop of the hips that gets his weight going to one side, and as he goes to push back, a big explosive bridge left, and kip, hand comes to the inside, and then we're ready to go in and go into our kip. This time he has an underhook crossface, and things are a lot harder now. This is where the initial off balance, the initial kazushi is going to come into play. So this time he has everything locked up tight. We go quick, short pop. As he goes to come back in, we bridge to the opposite side, kip, and we're back to the inside position, ready to go. So this time we're kipping against the underhook and a crossface rather than just a crossface, which will make things a lot harder, which is why we need the additional off balance with this quick, short, explosive bridge out to one side and then start our move to the opposite side. All right, let's give that a shot. not planning the pit is fucking, it's like a full-time job.
Dude, it's insane. Like, I looked at you like, oh my god, like 40 DVDs. Yeah. I just bought the Triangle.
Triangle.
Hella good shit in there.
Yeah.
I watch it.
Fucking remind me, if you're gonna watch them, I'll get you a code to just get them.
Oh yeah, because I bought some years, but I mean,
yeah.
I can be cheap if you want to give me the code.
No, I'll give you the code for sure.
Yeah, no, I bought like 3 or 4 year DVDs. I don't mind supporting friends either, but
yeah, no, I'll get you a code.
Oh yeah, except I watch all your shit. It's like,
all right, guys, let's get with our partners. Don't get it. Do you think it's store or do you think it's ordered? But no bruise? No color? Yeah.
I'm gonna go down something else. What we're doing.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate it.
That's awesome, bro. You know, hopefully they'll compete again, but if not, you could build a legacy of like John built his legacy of coaching, and John still has the respect of like someone like you, which is crazy, having not competed, which he's earned.
That's like the eventual schedule.
Wow, that's awesome. That's crazy. So you're gonna have to teach. Get what Garry has to teach. But even the other guys you have to teach are insane, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they have Lucas teaching.
The level here is just like nothing, unreal.
Silas is teaching.
So it'll be easy to fill it. Yeah, if I moved to Austin, bro, I'll train this like 4 days a week. I just have no motivation in Vegas. No one teaches me anything. Like, this is like, I enjoy coming here.
Yeah, it's boring when you don't learn stuff.
Yeah. Plus, I like all you guys. That helps. Makes a big difference for me liking people I train with.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're the same. I don't like training with people I don't like.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I like you guys so much. It reminded me of the Scrap Pack. When I met you, Garry. You guys are like so young and hungry. That was like how we were coming up.
Yeah.
Like kids that were just like on a mission, you know? And you don't see that often.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing is you want to throw your hips up high so you can chop your right leg down and over his hip and point your knees out to the left so that his knee starts to bow out in this direction. Go. Stand back up. Throw your right leg over the hip and down. Good. Now go back. Now from here, when you go to do that, take your left foot off the hip and go foot to foot. So throw your right foot over, just do it slow. Good. Now step on your own foot. Other way. Step on your foot. Good. Now do this, but bring your hips higher so that the crook of your knee shoots over exactly like that. Good. Now come back. Now do that all in one motion. And bring your hips up and then chop your leg down over the hip. Good. Very good. Now, this isn't always going to knock him down. He has a second foot to post on. So anytime you can get to 2 legs, so if you have two legs control with your hands. Good. Now, when you go to do it, and he goes to step back, you'll be able to. So anytime you can get to the second leg, it's better.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support me and the podcast, go to fightbackpodcast.com and you can buy some cool merch, like the shirt I'm wearing now. As many of you guys know, I run a free speech podcast. That comes as a price. It's being demonetized everywhere. So one way to support the podcast is to buy your books from AntelopeHillPublishing.com. Today's selection is The Trans-Industrial Complex. This book covers the money-making machine of the trans industries and shows it's not to help people, but to make money and get rich. So again, if you want to support the podcast, go to AntelopeHillPublishing.com and be sure to use promo code FIGHTBACK. That'll save you money and support me. Thank you. Here with Helena Crevar. I've been seeing you around for a few years. Everyone speaks really highly of you, including Gordon Ryan and John Danaher, who are very critical. So when they say something good about you, it must be good. Gordon even goes to me, you should train around with her today. Gordon's never asked me to train her around. I'm like, Jesus, she must be good. Does it feel a lot of pressure having people like that speak highly of you, or you handle that well? Or?
It doesn't give pressure, to me it's like I'm very grateful to be part of like the best team in the world and train with so many amazing training partners every day.
Yeah.
So it kind of adds motivation for me to live up to that and kind of just work harder to improve myself and everything.
So the pressure's a good thing to you, which
Yes.
I agree with that concept. There's a lot of pressure, you want to live up to the hype. And
Yes.
I love training here. I've only been training like twice a week, doing podcast stuff. But as soon as I walk in the door, I'm like, I get lit up around just the insane level. Like, I learned so much watching you go. I already have a good kipping escape. I learned so much with Gordon today. I'm just like, wow, he just learned an angle with the arms trapped, how to get out of that. Because that's like one of my worst positions. When I never give someone there, but if you get someone arm trapped, like the stuff Gordon comes up with is just
Yes.
like, him and John and Garry are just unreal coaches. And you have 3 of the best coaches. That must be pretty pretty blessed to have that.
Yeah, and definitely like getting to roll almost weekly with Garry and also with Gordon when he's training, kind of get to roll with him often, as well as Giancarlo. I've had a chance to roll with Luke sometimes.
Yeah, these are big guys, but they're probably good at not like bullying you. Cause
Yes.
let's say Gordon's like she's good enough to roll with, and Gordon's actually great at not like using his weight and stuff.
Yeah, so definitely like even though they're like much bigger than me in size, like they always give a good round to me that it's enough like pressure that I get a good round, but like not to like beat me up.
They know exactly how to push you. Yeah, no, you're so
Yes.
fortunate to have such great coaches. How old were you when you started training?
I was 8 years old.
8, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of when I saw you. You were pretty young, like 4 or 5 years ago you started breaking out on the scene?
Yeah, I believe so. I think I actually met Gordon at the ADCC trials in 2022.
Okay.
So I believe probably around that time was when I kind of started after that trial.
Did you qualify for ADCC
Yes.
at 16?
At 17.
But that's
yes.
insanely impressive. People don't know. Like, this is like the Olympics of grappling. Did you go there at 17? And
Yes.
yeah, I don't know. Just a couple more questions, not too many, but it's just like, how are you liking having a new facility with John having their own gym? I know it's a little ways out of Austin, but it's just feel pretty nice to them to have actually finally their own space.
Yeah, it's really nice, like a big mat space, everything. We were at Roca for 2.5 years, and that was a really nice facility. We're very grateful to them for like giving us that space. But like this one's really nice.
Yeah,
like,
I would like to add,
new mats,
thank you to Roca.
everything.
That was very nice of them to let them use it for 2.5 years, because we so many guys come in and out. I was like, wow, it's so nice of these guys. So that was huge shout out to whoever runs. Unfortunately, I don't know the name, but I like really thank that guy because he did a lot for your guys' team, allowing John to have that space for the pros.
Yeah.
And John's in insane, bro. He teaches he's already rich, and he teaches all day long, like white
Yeah.
belts. I thought he was just dropped teaching the pros, but he does pro classes twice a day. We're at a pro only class, and he teaches 2 or 3 classes to regular people, plus his DVDs, watches tapes.
Yes.
He's just the most dedicated man, and like you really have to thank guys like that for helping evolve the sport. And thanks for the interview. Any last words you want to add?
Yeah, like thank you for the interview. Like, and definitely I'm grateful like to John, Gordon, and Gary and the whole team like for always helping me improve. And definitely like John is like one of the masterminds of the sport and like so dedicated.
True genius.
Yes.
I don't think Gordon gets enough credit either. I was talking to it like a genius guy, and he goes, Gordon has a far above genius IQ. This guy's like an IQ guy. I'm like, really? He's like, absolutely. But then I thought about it, watching his puzzle solving. He's like, look at this stuff. You think a dumb guy, like we're watching jiu-jitsu tapes, like this is clearly an absolute genius. He just doesn't speak like John, so people don't realize it. I'm like, wow, that's an interesting point.
Yes.
You're the youngest person to take silver at ADCC at 17 years old. Extremely impressive. I know you have a ton of other tournaments you've won as well in super matches. What's some other things you've won?
I was also the first women's division heel hook at ADCC. So last year I had 2 of those accomplishments, youngest finalist and first heel hook in the women's division. I'm 4-0 at Who's Number 1. I hold the 145-pound title. I also hold the 70 kg title at Polaris, and also have 3-0 at UFC.
I saw you fight in the UFC shows. That's why I saw you fight. And this is when you were like 15, 16. These are like the best women in the world you're beating. So.
Yeah, and then also like I have had over 300, I think around 310 fights so far in my career, and 305 wins. So only 5 losses out of those. And out of those 300, I think have like a 70-80% submission rate.
Wow, that's like close to like Gordon Ryan. That's insane.
Yeah.
People don't follow jiu-jitsu. That submission rate is absolutely insane because the highest level people, submission rates are usually pretty low.
Yes.
What's your favorite submissions?
Favorite submissions the last couple of years, I have been focusing a lot on leg locks, but I feel like rear naked chokes have always been a part of my game. I love taking the back, and since January I have been focusing a lot on getting on top, taking the back, or mounting, and kind of over time with pressure, finishing them from
Switching
top.
the game to more of like leg lock, trick game to a dominant pass back. Guys like when we train with Gordon Ryan, the best back guy to ever exist. So it kind of makes sense. One more thing, was it your father that got you into it, or you got yourself into it? How did you get so into jiu-jitsu at a young age?
Yeah, my parents were always putting me in sports ever since I was 3 years old. So I kind of tried everything. I tried ballroom dance, kajikembo. I tried judo, Muay Thai, gymnastics, swimming, like anything you can think of. But when I was 8, my parents actually put me in a strength conditioning class, and I liked kind of always wrestling when I was little, like with friends or whatever, and the strength conditioning class had jiu-jitsu classes as well, so I tried those. My first class was actually no-gi, and I really liked it, and I just continued from there.
Nice. Do you have a preference of gi versus no-gi, or do you like both?
Yeah, so I definitely like to compete more in no-gi, but after that first no-gi class, I only trained gi for the first 5 years maybe. And then I started competing no-gi. I enjoyed no-gi more, and now I'm kind of training gi in the morning, no-gi in the afternoon. So I'd say like I like competing in no-gi, but I like training gi.
Nice.
So.
Well, thanks so much. I'll see you in a couple hours,
Thank
the next
you.
training session.
Yeah.
Here with my good friend Gordon Ryan at your brand new gym. This is amazing. Way Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Beautiful gym. I'm like so happy for you, John and Gary.
I know, I've been training 15 years, and I've never had my own actual home, like a place that I owned. And first we were at Henzo's, obviously, and gyms throughout Jersey, Tom's and Gary's, and places over there. And then we were in Puerto Rico. We were training out of somebody else's gym at Combat 360. They were gracious enough to let us train out of their gym. Then we moved here, and we were homeless, and we were training out of Roca for a few years while we were trying to open up this spot. So they were gracious enough to accept us, and now we finally have a place that we can call home. So
It's just so much better. I would like to say thank you to the guys at Roca. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Rob has been
they let you guys train there so much, but
incredible.
But there's nothing like having your own space.
Yeah.
Because it always felt like we had tiptoeing in there, coming in with way too many people.
Yeah.
I would feel weird coming in and being like, oh, we're taking advantage of these people, but they've been. I don't personally know the guy, but I'd like to thank him regardless.
Yeah, it was like a corporate office next to a
We took
jiu-jitsu
it
gym.
over.
So it was like Rob liked jiu-jitsu, and they had a lot. They they make sunglasses and a bunch of athletic wear, so they had like their testing facility, like their gear testing facility, and there was mats, there was workout equipment, there was an indoor like swimming pool with like that has the current, because they make, it's actually really cool, they make they make underwater contact lens goggles, so you can see as if you had contacts or glasses on underwater. So they had this huge, amazing gym, and Rob was just a fan of jiu-jitsu, and he was friends with Tim Kennedy, and we kind of got connected through Tim. And we ended up just training there. We're like, oh, we should be a few months until we opened up our gym, and then it was 3 years until we got the gym open. Like we're right in the outskirts.
30, 40 of us in there sometimes. Yeah. It's completely taken over as corporate office. Yeah. So mad respect to that dude.
So we like took over the corporate office, and they had to like build a wall between like the gym and the corporate office. So I felt like so bad training there, but we just like couldn't get anything done with the city of Austin with permits and stuff, so it just took us forever.
Man, you have the best partners. Garry Tonon and John Danaher, phenomenal coaches, phenomenal people. Like, what an insane coaching staff. That's got to be the best coaching staff in the world for the gym.
Just having a group of people who won't screw you
that's so important.
already puts you ahead of like 90% of like 98% of people in the world.
Garry and John are some of the few people I trust. I've known you guys for like 10 years, and you guys have always been so stand-up, so honest. I don't trust a lot of people. That's why I get upset when people, say bad things about you. It's like, this guy's one of the most trustworthy, honest people I've ever met.
You can say a lot of things about us, but we're not liars.
Another thing about you is
or
like,
thieves.
Even when you got better than me, you still treated me as your senior in jiu-jitsu, and a lot of guys aren't like that. They're like, oh, I'm better than you now. You were like, oh no, Jake came before me, like he's my senior. I always felt like that from you, not like, oh, I'm Gordon now, I'm better than you.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a time where a lot of the guys are better than me too, so you always gotta be able to put yourself in the other person's shoes. Mm-hmm. Like, you're obviously a legend, so you, George, guys like Doug, Brian Glick, like those guys are always be my seniors for sure.
But a lot of guys, the first time you tapped me, would have been like, yeah, but instead it was just like,
In my head, I was definitely, definitely like that.
I'm sure in your head, you're celebrating. The first time we trained, you were fucking tough. I got the better of you, but I'm like, this fucking fucker's tough, And then every time I came back, it was just like, holy shit, you got better.
Yeah, we met when first time we trained. I was a purple belt, and Jake came for a weekend session because there was no weekend sessions. John didn't teach any weekend classes at the time at Henzo's because he just wasn't on the schedule. So we did weekend privates with Otavia Bourdain and Eddie Cummings, and Jake came in, and once he locked his hands, it was just like, okay, his hands are locked for the rest of the match now. And it was like a different level of pressure that I've ever felt before. So that was kind of like a wake-up call. I was like, okay, this is like a different kind of game. Because, John's students all have like a very similar game. And, back then, like, we were just working on leg locks and like the submission systems and weren't really big into passing or stuff like that. But then Jake, locked his hands in a body lock and, forced me into half guard. And I was like, okay, I guess we're gonna do this now.
What's funny is I would never say this except how you say it in tape. You're like, you have an amazing system you made for guard passing, completely your own system, but you took that little piece of mine and added it in, and you're like, yeah, Jake did this to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna figure that out. And then you passed my guard with it a week later.
Yeah,
I was so fucking pissed.
It was funny because we didn't. I felt body locking from Jake, and I didn't really. I did it, a little bit here and there, and then. I actually was going to help Tom with the camp for Joao Assis, and Joao did a lot of body lock pass, and I never really experimented too much with body locks. I did them a little bit when it was more just defense with you. Yeah. And then I was like, well, Jake makes these work, so I could try to make them work. So I went in and I trained with Tom, and I passed Tom more times on that day with body locks than I'd ever passed him before. And I was like, holy shit, this is why Jake uses body locks. They're so effective. And then I started to develop. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to start developing body lock passing.
Yeah, you have an insane system where you mix the head up, the going down, body locking. You're mixing 3 or 4, maybe 10 different things and combining them together. It's the most impressive guard passing system I think in the world. And I have damn good guard passing, and I say that.
Yeah, to using the body lock to either outright pass or just to force people into chest-to-chest half guard. Mm-hmm. It's just such a strong passing position because it completely controls the hips.
Yeah, I think it's so underutilized. You dominate someone once you're there. They say when someone feels it, they're like, fuck. So yeah, a couple more questions on the gym. First, ask what it feels like to be here. It's been a long making, right? Like a year or two overdue. Was that stressful, the process?
We signed the lease in 2022, and we're in 2025.
Gosh, you've been paying this whole time?
Yeah. So I think we had X amount of months free, but It took us like a year, like between a year and a half, just to get permits done for the city.
Oh my god!
And then, you know,
so you're way in
every. I mean, we were over $1 million into the school for sure, like way over $1 million. But just to get like permits and inspections and everything done, it's just been like a complete. Like we're right on the outskirts, like almost in Cedar Park, but still inside city limits. So we're dealing with the city of Austin. So
Jesus. Hasn't
been the most expedited process, but we're almost there finally. Like we have, you know, a few more things. We have about, I think the actual square foot of the property is in the 6,000s, and then we have like 3,200 square foot of mat space. So about the same as Henzo's in the city, but minus the pillars. So we only have like this one little pillar in the middle, where Henzo's had like the big foundational ones that had to support a skyscraper on top of us. So about the same mat space as Henzo's, a little bit more, and then you know, we have the showers. Obviously, we have four showers for the men, 1 shower for the women's. So we'll have a good amount of showers.
A lot of jiu-jitsu gyms don't have showers, or they're filthy. Like, this is super nice.
There's not really a big showering culture in Texas. Like, most places don't have gyms, and if they do, like, most people don't use them, but they're super important. Like, the main thing you don't want is a staph infection. So we have, you know, good quality showers, you know, soap dispensers all set up. So we're almost there. We have a couple more things, like the front desk and front seating area. We have like a few more big things to do, but we're getting close.
Yes, I just want to add too, like, it's the best coaching in the world, but also just the atmosphere. As soon as I walked in, I wanted to train. Everyone's so nice and friendly. John's not always nice, but he is once you get to know him. You know, John can appear a little cold, but like everyone else is really friendly, nice. John's nice too. You just have to get to know him.
Was someone who's constantly nauseous, and for John, someone who's constantly in pain with his body falling apart, like, you don't realize how much extra it takes to be constantly nice to people.
No, he's like, bad.
Like, if you're constantly in pain, like for me, I'm not in pain, but I'm constantly nauseous, like to be like all like happy-go-lucky all the time is like a lot of extra work.
There was a few months where he was like really in pain in New York, and he got a little grumpy, but it's like, dude, he was in pain. There were some people crying about that. I'm not saying any names, but they're like crying about, oh, John was mean. It's like, he's the fucking best coach in the world. Oh, he fucking yelled at you. Get fucking over it, bro.
And he's here 7 days a week, twice a day, and he charges you nothing.
Yep, never charged me a dime. He never charged me a dime.
Never takes money from your purses.
I offered to give him money after training, he just wouldn't take it. Like, he trained me after I fought against GSP. He still took me and trained me. Like, just, John's been nothing but a good guy. You just have to show him respect and earn his respect too, though. You can't just walk in and expect respect from him.
Yeah, no, he's a once in a lifetime guy for sure.
Well, thank you so much, Gordon.
Of course,
Appreciate it. I love the gym.
I don't know when this is going to be out, but we should be open in early August. That should be our last. We missed a couple of deadlines, but early August we should be open to the public. So if you guys are interested in coming to train with us in Austin, Texas, we'll be here.
It's what's funny is it's not open and there's still like 20 people on the mats.
Yeah, at the 9 a.m. class. So the first class we did actually was it was like 50 people, 50 pro guys.
And
so
that's like not open to the public.
Just guys who we should have about, thinking somewhere between 300 and 350 students when we open. So
nice. So you guys be making a profit right away.
Yeah,
you gotta make a lot of back money.
Yeah, we got a lot to make back, but we should have some good students. Our affiliate program's coming soon too, so we should be good to go once we actually open the doors.
No, I'm really happy for you. Also, I'd like to add, he makes some of the best instructional DVDs in the world. He has like 40 of them. They're like 8-hour long. It's absolutely impressive. You can learn jiu-jitsu that way. It's much better to come in on the mats for sure. But I, at time to time, will go and watch your and John's DVDs or Gary's, and just to get refreshed in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. So what I think about it is like a second teacher. Like, you know, most people are like, oh, hey, they make an instructional on like, here's some moves. Whereas, you know, with my instructionals, I like to think of it as, okay, you have your instructor who shows you stuff in the gym, and then you go home and you have a second instructor who you can watch and you can understand the underlying principles of positions and kind of reinforce the things that your instructor shows you.
Yeah, I'm like at such a high level, and I watched like 2 hours of your tape over at Derek's last week, and I learned like 4 or 5 things, and that's the level I'm at. Just like the amount of new things I've seen you're doing is just so much different. It's just such high level shit.
Yeah. No. So
thanks a lot, Gordon.
Of course, yeah. Thank you, guys.
Cool.
Hey guys, if you're a noticer and want to support free speech, go to fightbackpodcast.com and buy yourself a cool t-shirt.
Methylene blue has been used for over 100 years for medical purposes and recently surged back into popularity. It has been shown to help repair brain tissue and improve memory, cognitive function, energy, and mood.
Research suggests that methylene blue could have neuroprotective effects, possibly aiding in conditions like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and depression. Go to MerakiMedicinal.com and use the promo code FIGHTBACK for a discount.
Let's look first at a situation where a guy's down on 2 knees. Anytime someone's on 2 knees, the onus is on us to elevate them. We have to get knees off the floor to go into Ashigarami. So from here, as we come out to fight for grips, we're always looking to get underneath our opponent, throw our body through underneath, start an elevation that enables us to go directly into the initial Ashigarami. As soon as we get here, now the second phase. Are we going to attack the primary leg or are we going to attack the secondary leg? If we go primary, it's going to be some form of Ashigarami which knocks him down to a hip. Our best attacks when an opponent's down to a hip, it's probably going to be some kind of basic heel hook. Coming back up. The second alternative is to use the initial Ashigarami to switch off, to switch off into a into the secondary leg. So we take our right foot through underneath, thread it across. Let's get a better angle, John Carl, onto the right hand side, and then from here we're going to pull everything in towards us with our knees, elevate, and go through into the legs. Now, more realistically, we're probably going to be doing back rolls out of this. So we take our opponent up. Go across, rolling through, and coming into a back roll to completion. Let's have a look at that again. We have an opponent in front of us. He's on 2 knees. That means the onus is on us to get underneath him and start elevating. First option, classic Ashigarami, put it down to a hip and attack from here. Attack from here, forward. Heel hook, heel hook, heel hook. Foot goes across, no. Foot goes across, turning towards me, rolling through. Do that again. Elevation. Good. Reaching across. Roll through. Make the transition to outside Ashi. And through. Let's do that again. Good. Second option, we elevate, get our opponent up, this time directly into cross ashi. Rolling through and finishing strong. Okay, let's get warmed up. When you first started jiu-jitsu from closed guard, can you tell me? It is possible to break someone's arm when they're on their knees, like so. But it's always safer, it's always more secure if you break them down to a shoulder and finish from here. It's just a stronger breaking. It's harder for your opponent to resist. There's less that he can do. You take away a lot of his defensive options. Same thing with leg locking. When we check someone up and go into Ashigarami, yeah, it's possible to finish from here. You can do it. But it's always better if you can get your opponent rolling and put him down to a hip. Like so. You could also roll him the other way, put him down hook in the other direction, roll through. Like so. However you do it, you broke him down to it. Things are looking better now. So, once we elevate and go into the legs, something we're always interested in is the idea of putting them down to a hip, the regular ashi, and then from here, we're ready to start attacking. Training partner's knee, so you can come up into a tripod position. From the tripod, now we're in the good position to grab our training partner's secondary leg, and then step over the top of Kanibasami, and go into a cross ashi situation and get our break from the cross ashi. Get our break. Let's do that again. So, training partner in front of us, elevate. You go into a straight ashi, roll through on it, convert to outside ashi. No. So, we get Ashigarami. Break him down to a hip, go through it to outside ashi, and break. Second option. Put him down to a hip. This time, come up with the tripod and back step, and get our break on the cross ashi. In both cases, you're successfully breaking your opponent down to the hip. Always the safest and most successful way to attack. Again, it is possible to break someone's leg when they're standing up over you, but it's considerably more difficult and you're much more likely to be countered. So whenever you can, put them down to a hip, okay? One intelligent form of defense for your opponent, if you just lock on Ashigarami and he's on the knee, on the knee. One intelligent form of defense for your opponent is to fight the Ashigarami with his hands. That certainly works well. Another line of defense is for an opponent to go down to a hip. Why would an opponent willingly go down to a hip? Well, it unweights his other leg. Right now, his left leg is being controlled by the Ashigarami. When my left leg is being controlled, if I sit on my hip, it unweights the other leg so that my leg can now become part of my defense. That's the advantage of it. That's why many of our opponents do go down to a hip. It's an intelligent response. It unweights the other leg, lets them use their secondary leg for defensive purposes. But it comes at a great price. And that price is that now you have no capacity to wrestle. Wrestling occurs on the feet and on the knees. It's hard to wrestle from your butt. Okay? So from here, when John Carlos sees an opponent who's gone down to defend legs, when you see the hip on the floor, this is an excellent time for you to take your Ashigarami foot off and create a situation where you start building for height and create a situation where you can get up to your knees in a race before your opponent can. As John Carlos fights to get up to his knees, his opponent goes to follow, got to catch the legs, drop them down, and get our reversal points. This is one of the surest ways to score reversals out of leg lock threads. Visually, the perceptual cue you're always looking for, where is my opponent's weight? If it's on his butt, that's the best case scenario. Second best scenario is when he has knees on the ground. Hardest scenario is when 2 knees are off the floor. You can do it, but it's going to take some work. So what we're going to do now is we're going to enter into the legs. Let's make it look a little more creative than that. And from here, we see our opponent fighting the hands. No, fighting with the hands. That's good. Separating. Then he goes down to a butt. He starts bringing in his other leg to defend himself. We're looking at this point to come up and wrestle him down. Now let's make it look a little more realistic than this. Both view motion. Good. Okay, so visually, let's look for the butt going down to the floor. As soon as you see that, time you're coming up into your double leg and put them down. Of particular interest is the grip you will use. Let's say we have an opponent who goes down to the floor to defend. Come up, John Carlo. Now, from here, one of the best grips you can employ. As Ethan gets up to his right knee, normally we go across to the leg and we drive across like a double leg. That's a good method to come back. Another method, also very useful, is to go around your opponent's lat muscle with your left hand, under the arm. And then from here, as he stands up, go elbow deep with your right arm and circle him down in this direction. And this too is an excellent way to put him down. Make sure you use both, because you never know which way your opponent's going to be moving when he goes to get back up to his base. So once again, first method, we see his butt hit the ground, we hit a conventional double leg and run him down. Second one, we get up and we go to the lat and elbow deep on the knee. We take him down to the same side as our head. Okay, and both are very useful. Let's give it a try, fellas. You have an opponent who goes down to 2 knees. So from a situation where we go into cross ashi, from underneath, very commonly from here, an opponent from here, go that one step. When we start to maneuver our opponent will radically backstep over in this direction, so that cross ashi becomes very difficult. In these situations, this is the perfect time to come up and wrestle. So we're going to come up, catch your 2 legs, and wrestle him down. As he goes to get back up, it's very hard for him to do so. Let's have a look at that again. We go through, get into Ashigarami. As we go into cross ashi, he goes to defend himself. So we come up and wrestle the legs and put him down. You'll see that he's in a position where, even though he isn't completely down on the floor, he's in a position where it would be very difficult to wrestle from successfully. People wrestle very well when they're on 2 knees or on 2 feet. It's hard to wrestle when you've got a hand, feet, butt close to the mat. So one more time. This is the position you're looking for here. It's a very hard thing to defend a double leg in this kind of situation. Even though his buttocks are not classically down on the ground, it's a tough position. If I hand clap now, and the 2 guys go to wrestle from this position, John Carlo will win 9 times out of 10, even on a very talented wrestler. So we create a real leg lock threat. Let's see it one more time in a competitive looking situation. And off that threat, wrestle up into double leg. Very good. Okay? Let's give it a try, fellas. Stance, they almost always present a lead leg. Very few people stand square to us. If they stand square, it's easy to knock them down with double Khaleesi, etc. So most of them stand like so. From this situation, we're going to come in and catch our training partner with the right hand, just like so, and come down to our side. From this position, we're going to place our foot up on our training partner's hip. In this case, it'll be the left foot. We're going to use that as a springboard to pull our body up into cross ashi and lock it. Now from here, we're going to put 2 hands to our training partner's leg. When he tries to maintain his base, Ethan, do your best to hold your base as best you can. We're going to pull the 2 legs in. It's almost impossible for an opponent to stay up. You get a hold of both legs, they get knocked down very easily. One drawback, however, is because the legs are split, your opponent now can heist and slip his knee. When we see we've lost the knee, the leg lock is gone, now it's time to wrestle up. Come up with him and run him down to the floor. So once again, wrestling up from a failed initial leg lock attack. We go in, get a hold of his lead leg, throw ourselves up, and then from here, put him down using double trouble. Come up, wrestle our opponent down to the floor and get our top position. Okay? Let's give it a try, fellas.
Here with John Carlo, 2 times ADCC champion. That's like the Olympics of grappling. Phenomenal. We're here training, obviously, at John Danaher, Gordon Ryan, and Garry Tonon, this new gym. Kingfish, brand new, but phenomenal gym.
Yeah, dude, beautiful gym. We've been training here for like a week, and it's a nice place to call home.
Feels so much better, right?
Yeah.
Like having a home finally.
Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed training at Roca. It was an awesome gym. We got used to it, but we knew it was going to come to an end at some point. So it was just kind of like a matter of time for us to finally have like a gym to call home. And Gordon, and Garry, and John have done like. It's a beautiful gym.
Yeah, just for a short film, we're talking about how they built such a good culture here. We don't know each other that well, but whenever we came in, we get along, we train good. There's such a good culture of people helping each other, not trying to hurt each other. And that's so important in a gym, having that.
Yeah.
I walk in, I have been here a while. I just feel so good walking in, seeing all my old friends and everyone getting along so good. That's an important part of a gym too, not just the good training. I think adding good camaraderie.
Yeah, and John kind of really puts the focus of the gym on skill development, everybody getting better. So naturally, I feel like there's a big culture of people trying to help each other. So guys are going to corner each other at tournaments. They're traveling to Dallas, or wherever to go coach each other, even if they're not competing, or even in the gym. Everybody's always brainstorming, asking questions. So we got a really good team dynamic here, I feel like, and like you said, everybody gets along.
Coach. I think John. I think he deliberately puts a lot of pressure on the good guys to help everyone else.
For sure.
I think it's kind of the Japanese system. I hope I'm not misquoting him, or not quoting him, but misreading this wrong. But I feel like I say some people think John's cold. I don't think he's cold at all. I think he wants the best people coming to him, and then the best people are supposed to spread the knowledge throughout the room. That's kind of how I see it, and it's that makes a lot of sense because John can't ask the question with a blue belt.
Yeah.
So it's he wants everyone else to help spread the knowledge and become a good coach. And he also teaches to the best person in the room. And I think some people don't like that, but then how are you going to rise a room up great if you're not teaching to the best person in the room?
I always the reason why I came to train here was because I wanted to train with the best guys, and for me, I always rose to the standard of the room. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of people want to get the attention before they earn it, and I feel like you need to rise to the standard of the room. You have to rise up to the standard of the best guys, and so that's it's a top-down mentality, I think, and that's the approach that I always took. I always wanted to be in a place where guys could constantly push me, and if I ever slipped up a little bit, I would get left behind.
Exactly. That's the environment they set here. And I didn't realize you won ADCC twice. That's insane. You were obviously really good before you came here, but that's so impressive winning it twice.
Yeah. I feel like you said, I already had a good foundation when I came here, but John kind of put the edge on the blade, so to speak. Every single day training under John, it's just he's just forging you into a superior grappler.
Yeah, you were already a really good black belt, but to go and become 2-time not 80 cc's above world champion. You know, it's like they said, like the Olympics to go win that twice. That's way more prestigious than the world championship. To go win that twice, that's pretty fucking impressive.
I was pretty happy, but I mean, like it's like I said, like it's a culmination of like it's a team effort. Like if I didn't have my training partners, if I didn't have Gordon and Garry as like examples, guys that kind of like led the way in the room, like they were the leaders as far as athletes in the room before I came along. And then now you have guys like Luke and Nicholas and all the other guys.
Last time I trained with Luke, he was so good and so big. I was like,
he's a
oh my
beast.
God. It was a different person than the first. Well, what can I say his name?
Marigali.
First time I trained with him, he'd just taken the gi off, and I was like, oh, this guy's okay. I came back like 4 or 5 months later, totally different person. I was like, wow, this guy.
I think I remember watching you guys first training
Yeah,
session.
like the difference was insane how much he improved.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow.
Yeah, so I mean, like we have like, you know, a really elite room. Like I remember, like it's been 4 years now that I've been training here full time.
Yeah.
And like the level that the room has, the level of the room has gone up, like dramatically. Like it was already a good room.
Yeah.
But now like every single guy in the room that
like
know
I've
their
barely
name
been
is
training,
elite.
and I'm just like, fuck, it's hard for me to get on these mats.
It's really,
and train when you're out of shape, haven't been training.
Yeah.
It's just like, but it's great though. It feels good. The atmosphere. Like I need to start visiting and training here more.
Yeah, for sure, dude. Love having you.
One last thing I want to add, you know, Gordon gets a ton of shit, but he is such a good training partner to me. It always bothers me when people talk shit with Gordon. Like, what's your experience with Gordon? To me, he's been such a good teammate and training partner.
Yeah, I mean, like Gordon is the type of guy. So like, ever since I started training here, no matter what, like if you have a question, he'll stay.
That's what I try to tell people, and like even to the white belt.
He'll answer questions for hours, like, and he has an answer to everything. And if he doesn't have an answer, he'll try to figure it out with you. And so, like, he's always been extremely generous to me. And I think that a lot of people get the wrong impression about him because when he does turn that corner, he goes all the way. He goes all in. And social media tends to focus more on the negative than the positive.
True.
So that's going to amplify.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this recently. It's like, you know, you see it with everything. Like you see it with politics. You see it in jiu-jitsu. It's like the 20% of people make 80% of the noise. But if you talk to the majority of the people that know him or you or, you know, people in this room.
I say controversial stuff too, but everybody that knows me is
But everybody that knows you is like, dude, he's always been a great dude to me. And so, like, why, you know, it's again, I think goes back to that, like, a very small amount of people are screaming the loudest. And so that's why it kind of seems that
I've only seen him come in and help people, help me, help everyone. And then also, once he passed me up, he still treated me as a senior. It wasn't like, oh, I tapped you out now. You know?
Right, yeah.
I joked earlier, he goes, oh, my head I was yelling out when I first tapped you out. But it's just like, he didn't act any different. It's still like he understands we forged the way before him, so he understands respect. So that's why he's the guy that gets way too much shit. So, hey, thank you so much.
Pleasure,
and
man.
Good luck in the future. I'm glad you, hopefully I'll come out here and we'll train a lot more together.
Yeah,
We've trained a
anytime,
couple
man.
times, so cool.
You have trouble bending that knee?
This one? Turn away.
I'll just do it on the other leg. It seems like you're, like every time I try to pull down, you're like, absolutely not.
Probably just a snare.
Do it again. Okay. Forget everything you just watched. Just the training. Tap, tap, tap. Done.
As many of you know, I have many controversial guests, so that comes at a cost of being demonetized everywhere. So if you want to support the program, go to fightbackpodcast.com, and I have all kinds of merch on there, whether it's jiu-jitsu, fighting, political, and other accessories. And thanks for the support.
Here with Garry Tonon, longtime friend and training partner. First, I just want to say congratulations. You, John, and Gordon have just built this amazing new gym. I mean, are you pretty excited about this?
Yeah, super excited, man. It's been a long time coming. You know, ever since we moved to Austin, we were trying to open up a facility. I mean, we were even trying to open up a facility when we originally moved to Puerto Rico. So the fact that you know, it's been like, you know, 4 years basically in the making to like open up a gym it's kind of surreal to have it all finally come together. So
yeah, it's a beautiful facility, and the funny thing is, it's not even open to the public yet, and there's still like 20 people here training, and it's like private, invite only. People are asking me, can you get me in? I'm like, bro, I'm not asking John. I haven't seen him in like a year to do people favors, but it just shows the demand, and I think this place it's going to be. I mean, already even you guys were stuck kind of a nomad hopping between gyms, and it still was like probably the top gym. So now that you have the center, it's going to be insane.
Yeah, it's an interesting project for me because I had previously, you know, have a gym, Garry Tonon Jiu-Jitsu out in New Jersey, which I ran, you know, all the way through. When I lived in New Jersey, I was teaching most of the classes, and it started to change. I started teaching less and less of the classes as I started to do mixed martial arts and stuff, and had more of a professional career. But I was still teaching every day. Still teaching at least one class a day. And then when we moved to Puerto Rico, you know, I was faced with the idea of, do we close this down? Do we, you know, keep it going? And I had a ton of students, and I wanted to keep the place open for them, you know, and everything like that. But the main thing I wanted to talk about is like the difference in the two projects. Like that for me, like when I started that gym, like it's not like there's, you know, hundreds of people ready and willing and waiting to like sign up at the gym, like where you know when you open the doors you're gonna have like a ton of clientele. It's which was interesting for this place, you know, before we even opened the doors, you know, I think we have like 250 members signed up or something like that. So it's really interesting how things have changed and how things are different. The facility is so much bigger too.
You know, big, nice
showers and everything like that. I've never had anything like that in any of my gyms. You know, I've never been able. The financial means just by myself was very difficult to do that. And now with me, John, and Gordon paired up together,
partners are amazing.
you know,
John Danaher and Gordon Ryan. Like talk about some good business partners,
right?
And honorable people, not just their training too. Like very honorable people.
Yeah, great. It's great to be able to team up together, and you know, we've been teamed up together, you know, working on the sport of jiu-jitsu for years, but now we get to like run an academy together, and it's kind of our own, and that'll be a really interesting project, you know, kind of moving forward where, you know, we have this nice facility now and a true home to train in, and we should be able to finally have like not just a true crop of professional students, because we've had that for the past few years. You know, we brought even with all the chaos that had ensued, we still put together a great ADCC team last time, but now we'll actually finally have a home base, and we'll not just have a great professional team, but a great recreational team and like a feeder team where you have, you know, guys that are going to come in that are brand new students, and you get to build them up from square one, which is not something that we had the opportunity to do really ever. You know what I mean?
It's going to be a lot better for those guys too, because before they weren't allowed to the pro gym. So now the regular people are going to be allowed to be at the pro gym, so they're going to have so much more interaction. So for them, they were kind of cut out. They almost weren't allowed to be part of the team because of the unfortunate scenario you guys are in. So I think that's going to help a lot with the whole team building.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think everybody interacting on the mats, you know, on a more consistent basis is going to help a ton, and there's a certain degree of team unity associated with having your own place and everything like that too. You know, where, you know, you can start to get to know all the students on an individual basis. You start to there's a relationship in a lot of gyms which I don't think like the newest generation of students necessarily respect, which is like, this isn't a Burger King, you know what I mean? Like, you are genuinely developing, you know, in a good academy, you know, we hope, you know, this is the way things are going to be. In a good academy, you know, you have this reciprocal relationship between coaches and students where you're helping each other and you care about each other, and like, you really can't have one without the other. If you have a place where a bunch of people come to train and nobody cares about each other, people are getting their arms broken on the mats left and right, you know, because the next day of training, it's like, who cares? Oh, there's just going to be like new guys, whatever the case may be. When you create a environment where everybody cares about each other, and it's like, oh man, I respect my training partners, I want to make sure that they're doing well, getting better, staying healthy, all these sorts of things. It's so much more collaborative and easy for everybody to train together. Otherwise, everybody's just kind of doing their own thing. They're hiding their little secrets. They're not sharing any information. They're not, you know what I mean? Like, it's much better when everybody has a real relationship and you can have a collaborative effort.
Well, me, you, and Gordon, we all trained together at least 3 years. None of us hurt each other, to my knowledge.
Right.
You never cranked a heel hook on me. I'm a little rough, but I never hurt anybody.
Right.
You know, so it's like, you know, Gordon never hurt me. So it's like you're going hard, but you're not trying to hurt each other. 99%
of the problems that we encountered, I think, you know, were visiting, you know, people coming by who didn't care, whether it was skin infection related things, whether it was, you know, people trying to hurt each other, that sort of thing. Like, that typically happens with people who don't have that relationship.
Legs in training, it's insane. Like, you're a leg locking breaker. And when I was learning leg locks, I needed to go in there and trade leg locks with you without fear that you might snap my leg because you were more advanced there. But I still wanted to learn them, so I wanted to trade leg locks with you. But I knew I could safely do that because your ego's not going to be like, oh, I'm going to break Jake's leg. And it's so important to have training partners that I could let Gary have my leg, even though you could break my leg, that knowing you're not going to do that. Instead, you would tell me, like, hey, I could break your leg right there. then I'll trust your judgment, you know?
Right.
So it's like, I understand, like, some douchebag might try to pretend like they'd break my leg. I know if you tell me, hey, I could break your leg, you could break my fucking leg.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having that kind of relationship start to build with all the students on the mats, because it's we've had it on the professional team for sure, but to have like a whole academy like that,
this is going to help so much, because bouncing to the gyms, it was still amazing what you guys had, but it was definitely hurting it. I just want to add something. I feel a lot of hard work people. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone work harder than work for a couple of years. You would get up at what, 5 in the morning?
Yeah, we got up pretty early to go travel to New York. It's like an hour and a half both ways, depending on the day. You know, sometimes you get lucky, but most of the time you don't. And so yeah, at least 3 hours of driving most days.
And then we had 2 hard jiu-jitsu sessions. Then you'd come in and spar and do MMA training. Then you'd drive back an hour and a half, and you'd teach what, like 3 classes?
Yeah, at the beginning I was teaching a lot of the classes even back at my academy, and then once the MMA started, I had to like make it like 1 class so that I could actually get back in time, you know, to be able to even teach it. But yeah, for years I was teaching all the classes at my school plus that whole schedule.
And you lived off gas station food.
Yes, yeah. Lived off gas station food.
Impressive.
I have a fiance that cooks now, which, you know, so my health is in much better straits than there was.
We get married. You're the craziest guy I know, and now getting married. But so congratulations,
Thank you, man.
on the gym. Like I said,
Thanks so
you've
much.
always been a great friend and training partner. So.
Yep. Thanks so much, Jake. to a situation. So we're just going to work on a little series. There's a bunch of people that do this, but recently I've been studying a lot of Pantoja, so this is something that he definitely does. And it involves shift stepping towards an opponent. Okay, typically when we talk about shift stepping, it's involved with a punch. Okay, I throw a jab, then maybe my rear hand, and you can do depending on the timing. All right, it could be after the rear hand, okay, or it could be kind of during the rear hand. Okay. Usually after is a little bit better because I can get some power out of that strike first, but it depends on what my goal is. Okay, so the first part of the series, I'm actually not going to do a shift with the intent of getting closer to my opponent. I'm just going to throw a lead leg kick or a rear leg kick. So I start moving towards my training partner and I throw a double jab, rear hand, and then my rear leg is going to come towards my opponent. And I'm just going to clip my training partner's legs. And what I'm hoping for is that brush by reaction, because my training partner's already moving this direction, the legs get kind of brushed by, and you get opportunities to potentially attack afterwards. So let's say, for example, I manage to land this, he brushes by, all right, I can start entering into other combinations, etc. But even if that's all I get out of it, I get a nice exchange where I get to land a couple punches, all right, I land that rear kick. Now that is going to disguise the other parts of what we're going to do in the series. That's pretty low danger, okay? I go to throw something like this and he tries to throw back. We'll try to throw back during the exchange. Right, my head comes way offline. All right, there's not a lot of danger there. So the next time I come forward looking like I'm gonna shift, all right, he thinks maybe, I'm gonna go to throw that kick again. This time, I'm gonna shift in and I'm gonna connect for the takedown, okay? So I go to throw my shift, okay, he says, oh, I'm gonna plant my stand my ground. I don't want to move away this time because he's just going to throw this little shitty rear kick. So when I throw, land knee behind my training partner's knee, I look to take him down with a Kosoto. There's two good ways to do this. One is with a knee block. Okay. Two is landing calf to calf intentionally, like so. Okay. Last part of the series, he steps way off. And we end with a high kick, okay? So look at this all the way through, okay? So we're building a series based off of shifting punches, where we kick, we step in for a takedown, and our opponent leads, and we end with a high kick, all right? Let's get to it.
Pantoja does that?
Yeah, at least the first and second part of what I just discussed. He does a really good job kind of marching forward in a crouch and then landing that rear leg on a lot of combinations. But he also goes into that overhand into the takedown, or sometimes into the body. And then landing on the takedown. So he does that it seems like basically any time he wants to just quickly get into a grappling exchange, this is something that he does, Nice.
You try to go to larger MMA teams or really small?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I think most of my MMA training is going to be with select guys that are, professionally driven and our safe training partners. I don't know if we're going to from the ground up build an MMA program the way that we're going to do it with jiu-jitsu.
Could be guys that are already training MMA. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, but there's going to be guys inevitably that are going to come to us because they're coming for jiu-jitsu that will also be interested in MMA, and we'll probably start building a bigger MMA team for that reason. And we've always done that. High-level guys have come in to work on their jiu-jitsu, and then they also do MMA, and then of course we do our best to help those guys train for their fights and stuff like that as well.
Guys like George St. Pierre came through, Chris Weidman.
Right. So, Rory, Satoshi has come in. You know what I mean? All these guys, they were here mostly for grappling, but we're gonna do MMA sessions as well while they're here. So. I think there'll be a lot of that, and I'm sure there'll be some guys Vance that we were working with there came from Louisiana. He was one of Aaron Phillips' students, and then he ended up moving here. You know what I mean? So and he was a great training partner. So we integrated him into the team. So I'm sure there'll be a ton of that moving forward.
People are definitely come through now that you have your own facility.
Yeah. So this can be done in MMA for sure. Obviously in jiu-jitsu it's a little bit easier because it's specifically in a grappling context. But in an MMA situation where somebody grabs a single leg would probably be the most often time you're going to see this. There are a few MMA fighters that in the past have done scissor takedowns off of punches, and it's incredibly impressive. Basically kind of off that shift that we talked about before, they shoot their back leg through and jump. I am not going to do that. I don't have that level of confidence that from a distance I'm going to be able to not land on Vance's knee. it's much safer. It's still not safe, but much safer when we're in connection with our opponents. This is something that we never really drill. We never even really drill unless it's like somebody getting ready for a competition or something. That's how dangerous I generally feel like it is. So my training partner's going to pick up a leg, okay? And this is one of the easiest times to do this move because my training partner's already staggered his legs. He's attached to me, okay? It's much easier to make sure that I'm not gonna like land in a weird way, right? When we're not attached to each other and I just jump at my training partner, anything can happen. So this is a lot safer, all right? We're attached. Still a little dangerous though. I hop into that straight line. This knee comes behind my training partner's knee and we land like so. You don't have to put a hand on the ground like I did, but it makes it a lot more controlled. It's a lot easier to make that happen. So whether we're sparring and my training partner goes to pick up that single, all right, I just work my way behind my training partner. I get that knee behind my training partner's knee, and then usually we like to try to go into our heel hook follow-ups. For those of you that are trying to do this and make it much safer to a point where you could even do it drilling, he goes to pick up that leg. Instead of scissor takedown, we roll in a forward direction. Okay, this way you never have to worry about jumping on somebody's knee. You can see the big difference between the two, right? When I jump into my opponent for the scissor takedown, there's a chance my hip can land on my training partner's knee. But when I roll forward, there's no chance of landing on somebody's knee. So you can do something pretty similar to this move without the inevitable danger of potentially landing on somebody. So again, whether we're wrestling and you get to hold of that single and I get into a situation where I go knee behind the knee, or maybe we were fighting, my training partner gets a hold of a single leg, line up, knee behind the knee, and then hopefully a quick heel hook follow-up. Go ahead, guys.
I think you used over this one day. I had a couple of
Yeah.
Hey, come here. Don't ever do that again. In this gym, like, oh, sorry.
This will get you kicked out.
I didn't even realize it. I was just nailed. And I actually nailed a few people with it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
had seen it.
You're just like, don't do that.
I had seen it when I was like younger in like outlaw and jiu-jitsu competition, and I didn't even know what it was. I see like no scissor takedowns. I'm like, huh, what's that about? Then somebody taught it like in the gi one day at Ricardo's, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, why don't we do that more? And then, you know, John explained to me like people just fall on people's knees. And I was like, and then you see it in competition. Yeah, that'll be the easiest. We should entitle this video "The Easiest Way to Get Kicked Out of Kingsway."
Yeah, right.
You guys are involved in a sport based around control. All control in jiu-jitsu is based on one simple idea: keeping your opponent between either your elbows or your knees, and in the best cases, between both. The most controlling positions in the sport, mounted position, put a crossface on them. You've got them between your knees and you've got them between your elbows. Guard position. Close guard. You've got them between your elbows. You've got them between your knees. Rear mount position. You've got them between your elbows and you've got them between your knees. Unlock the body triangle. Reese, start sliding your ass out towards me and get away from his knees. Now, you've lost half of your control. You no longer have him between your knees, but no problem. You still got him between your elbows, so we're still looking pretty good. Giancarlo comes up, throws the hooks in, and reestablishes control. Okay? This whole game is based on keeping your opponent between your elbows and between your knees, even when there's distance between you. Seated versus standing. As long as you've got this guy between your knees, everything's okay. Giancarlo, don't move. He starts to run towards me. Now we've got a problem. Where you go? Now we've got a problem. He's outside your knees. So what does Giancarlo have to do? What is every defensive movement in the sport based on? Based on putting him back between the knees or the elbows. So Giancarlo rolls over his shoulder and puts him back between the knees. That is the eternal pattern of all jiu-jitsu. You want to control someone, you either got to put him between your knees or between your elbows, or best of all, put him between both. Okay? The whole game is based on this simple principle. So let's take this in another direction. If we had to turn a match around in the least possible time, with the least possible effort, in order to get either a score, a win, or just a big defensive reactionary opponent, you couldn't do better than by quickly getting outside of his knees or elbows. In bottom position, the single most successful, easy, methodical way to get outside your opponent's elbows is an arm drag. So if we've got a guy on 2 knees in front of us, we're looking for butterfly guard. Right now, Reese has John Carlo, put your hands on him. Reese has John Carlo between his elbows, so everything's good. But the second John Carlo gets a wrist, puts a foot on the outside, and whips out to position off a good arm drag, this is a bad turnaround for Reese on top. Okay, in the space of quarter of a second, he went from being nice and comfortable, everything okay, to holy shit, this is getting very critical now. He cannot accept this. Don't even go that far, John Carlo, stay on your butt. You can, from Reese's perspective, he cannot accept an opponent getting outside of his elbows. He cannot just go, no, I'll deal with it later. No, there's no dealing with this later. You've got to deal with it now. Okay? So from his perspective, he's got to start putting his right knee up. So at least he can keep John Carlo between his knees. If he's outside the elbows, you've got to put him between the knees. Okay? Even better, he can stand up and break away. And break away. So we end up in a situation where you're back between your opponent's elbows and knees, you're back to a safer position. Okay? We're going to spend time today just looking at the arm drag. Because in a competitive situation, all of you guys have competitive aspirations, there is simply no move which has a greater ability to turn the pace, the direction of a match around in less time for less effort with less risk than an arm drag. When you do it well, you will always be dangerous to your opponent. Okay? It's a move where you can be getting your ass kicked the whole match, down 12, 16, 0. You hit a good arm drag, jump on your training partner's back, you can finish it. Okay? As long as you've got a good arm drag, you're always dangerous to your opponent. So we're going to start off with the fundamental method of arm drag. From a situation where we get a hold of our training partner's wrist, we're going to put our foot on the outside. Then from here, we're going to come up and we're going to make sure that we push with the wrist and pull at the armpit. We never pull at the elbow. It's a common mistake. You want to pull your opponent's shoulders. That means you get to the armpit. When you go to pull, we're going to aggressively bring him past us and we're going to climb for height. If we just arm drag, John Carlo, arm drag and go down to your right shoulder. Many people teach arm drags by falling back and going to a shoulder. Now when John Carlo puts an arm around the waist, on my hand clap, both of you rest in position. Reese, you're going to be looking to elbow cut. It's all gone because you have no height advantage. Okay? The only way you can solidify the advantage is to drag and beat his elbow and get higher than him with your hips and your knees. So when we arm drag, the best way to do it is to go foot on the outside, up and forward and surge into him and get behind his tricep where your hips are higher than his hips and your head is higher than his head. On my hand clap, wrestle the position. You'll stay with the advantage. Okay? When you beat his tricep, get your head higher than his, get your hips higher than his. That way you'll beat him and you'll stay beating him. Okay? As opposed to just getting outside his elbow and then he recovers. So let's make this combat realistic. Reese standing. Okay, Reese, you're going to approach an opponent like it's competition. Go away, go away, go away. Come in, like it's competition. Hands out, making contact. Come down to 2 knees. Good. Now, slowed up. Good. And Reese, try to run away. Not just going to sit down. Good. Now, what are we trying to build here? We're going to build the habit of running to the far hip. Okay, come back. When you hit a successful arm drag, it's on Reese's right-hand side. He will do everything to defend the right-hand side. He will put his right knee up. He will start circling away to the left to create space. And that's how he defends himself. So my recommendation, when you have a tough competitive opponent, if you arm drag on his right-hand side, complete on his left-hand side. Run to the far head. Okay? He's going to be trying to put in a whizzer and stop you. He's going to be doing everything he can to stop you from dominating that side. Run to the other fucking side. So, we had a good hard arm drag. Good. Squeeze. Let's go. Then you stand up and get more. Arm drag. You run to the far side, break him down, Put him back where you came from. Good. Now once you guys start getting more confident, you've got the basic idea down. Let's make it more combat realistic. Athlete standing, obviously. Coming in like it's a match. Good. Come down to 2 knees. Good. That's what it's going to be like in conflict. Okay, so when you first start off, just get used to the idea of the basic drag, the mechanics of beating the elbow, getting your height, and then as you start to gain in confidence, start to make it more combative, like you're going out into an actual situation. Okay? Let's get warmed up, fellas. Good work, Dorian. work overhand. Very good, John Carlo. Well done, Dorian. Work strength up. Well done, Oliver, stars up. Very good. Well done, Hannah. Good work, Dominic. You guys aspire to, probably the most common reaction in competition these days is for people to stand up out of drags down the mat. So Reese comes in, we hit a nice arm drag and we do get behind him. He stands up and we're in this position. Okay, this is a very, very common situation out of good arm drag. How are we going to return him to the mat? Well, you guys know a bunch of good ways. We could go in for a standard lift. Good. Come back up. We could take our knee and knee sweep him. Good. These are all good methods, okay? But one which takes very little effort is for us to lock our hands 10-finger style and go into a reverse Tai Toshi. We just drop, spin, and come down to the like so and take them over our leg. Nice and safe, okay? Now let's look at one way to do this which is not safe. Some people will drop into the Tai Toshi and kind of throw off to the side. Come this way a little bit more difficult, like you're going to throw it towards the bottom. Yeah, this is not good. Okay, now you're throwing him right over his knee and the knee can buckle. This is a disaster. Okay? So let's make sure when we do it, we throw our training partner directly backwards. Okay, so from here, we drop in. You see that perfect angle? Okay, John Carlo, one more time, just the Tai Toshi by itself. Okay, fellas, John Carlo, drop into the Tai Toshi position. Okay, you see how John Carlo is taking it directly backwards over his heels. Okay, that's the hardest direction for your opponent to defend, and it gives John Carlo a rotation. John Carlo, vigorously rotate your right elbow down to your right hand side. You want to pull him to your right hip. So if you're doing a left-legged Tai Toshi, you're going to pull him to your right hip. Okay, John Carlo, show me a full power Tai Toshi, pull him into your hip. Okay, that's a very hard one to defend to your opponent. Now let's have a look at it all in a competitive situation. Okay, come in, come up. Okay, super royale. Okay, don't want to go down. You're just going to jump with shoelaces onto the back of your knees. And good. And then you're going to take your soles of your feet and push into your calf muscle. So this should be that one. Very strong. Later, the other method is to jump directly onto his calf muscle. Try this one. Lock. Yeah. Which one do you prefer doing? Do you prefer directly jumping or shoelaces first? From here, my favorite thing to do is to step directly from there. Big left Kosoto hook on this ankle.
My right foot.
Left foot, step all the way around, Kosoto hook. Now just step from there and throw your hook. Look it down to your left knee. And then here so go back into it. He steps out Tai Toshi, go Kosoto. Very good.
Thank you.
can't do it.
Well, if you go double shoulder post, then
Yeah.
they play back with one head.
Exactly what I had. That's kind of where
Switch the hip,
just switch it.
and then either post on the knee and pull on the shoulder, or post on the knee and post on the armpit. This pulls me in, but it allows the underhook to come in. So if I go here, you're going to punch your underhook. No, yeah,
always improve something.
Yeah, if you try to punch your underhook in here, you have to take your knee shield out and go to come up on a single.
Here. Oh, fuck, dude. That's crazy.
You get crushed.
Wait, as I come through.
So I can play here.
Dude.
Okay, your chest after.
Because I play that, so it's good when I'm moving really fast, but I'm already.
So for jiu-jitsu guys, if you want to play guard, usually I come in here and I pull myself in.
Oh, shit, dude. This is crazy.
Now if you try to play guard, you can't.
The amount of weight.
But if it's an MMA guy who wants to wrestle up, then I go here. Just
I know you're bigger than me, but the weight
toes are active, pushing into you. So now my shoelaces, my feet are actually
you
on
film
the
his
floor.
toes, I want to film until you don't get the weight on me.
And then I put my right hip on your tailbone.
I have to sleep. I feel it.
You want to accept chest to chest half guard,
And then that's
which is what I want.
Yeah. So it's forcing me to give you. Yeah. You do a lot. I do a ton of mount. You do a lot of like the up high mount. What are you looking for?
Just until I get the underhook crossface.
You do like eventually go low.
Yeah.
I know you're up
I
there.
don't go just to the crossface, but then guys can kip out. So I go cross wrist.
How do you do that? We won't give too much.
No, you're good. So I first go here, cross wrist, and I pin a hand down and weight over it. Then once I go through the underhook, now if you come across, your back is split. If you don't come across, then now I come forward.
That's no good answer.
If I go here, the only way you can really bring your hand back is if you grab it with the other hand.
Here. There you go. So, yeah, with the good, I'm trying to think what I can do. I don't have any good answer.
Not a lot of great
You're
answers.
literally just doing cross pin. If I go in the hip, what do you do if I went hip? You go, again. So if I go here, you want.
And I just walk this up.
So that's your upper distance. I always see you, not always, I see you up a lot more than other people. I'm just getting so exhausted. I feel like I have to go there, but then it's like, even if I have the underhook, but you still can take it back. Yeah. How do you take that back from here? If I go like here, what do? You usually put your pressure.
So I go cross shoulder, and then as you go to use the underhook to come up, the cross shoulder stops you. I go inside bicep tie. And then I pull the cross shoulder. Nice. Now when
Can you film this wrong? I want this for myself.
So when he goes underhook here, and I kill it, I initially put my chin over the elbow. So when you go to use the underhook, I can cross shoulder post, so when you try to come up with it, nothing. Yeah. Now this gives me the space that I need, because if I just go to come up, you just follow me. So I have to keep your far shoulder pinned. So when you try to come up with me, the cross shoulder post stops you. Then I go here, and I go 10 finger. Now when you go to move me around, far shoulder's pinned, and I can open this.
So you open it with the 10 finger, not underneath. I always go under. You open it right from there, huh?
Yeah. Because now your far shoulder's pinned. You try to load towards me with the big bridge.
Yeah. Oh, I see. You guys can't.
Because most guys just try to explode this way and come punch your underhook in. This kills it.
Go ahead and slowly inch up. I'm trying to resist.
Yep.
Oh, fuck you. Nothing. Then you switch to there. That's nice. I want that myself. You don't care if I post it.
It's an unusual format insofar as an athlete goes in. If he beats his opponent, he stays in, which means there may be a situation that our athletes have to fight multiple opponents back to back. They might do 2, even 3 matches back to back. So the training for it, we split 2 CJI rounds every day, and that way you get used to finishing one match and then getting right back in the saddle and doing another match back to back like it could be in competition. The problem with this is it's pretty high intensity training. I need feedback from you guys. Do you feel this is sustainable for the next 6 weeks? Did you feel today's workout was like, dude, I don't know if I can do that 7 days a week for the next 6 weeks? Like, does it feel sustainable? Does it feel like it's something we could do on Monday, 2 back-to-back, Tuesday 1, Wednesday 2 back-to-back, and do it day by day?
Yeah, definitely that format.
Do you feel that's a better format?
I like the internet aspect of it.
missing some handstand walks upstairs and splits on bamboo, but it's all right.
In a cold waterfall. I want you guys to come in and be in shape, but I don't want you to be burned out either. So can we have a show of hands? Just for we might change our mind later in the week. I'll ask the same question, see how you guys are feeling. But if people feel like 2 hard rounds back to back, 7 days a week is it's getting a little crazy, going to burn people out, or would you rather have it every other day that you do it? First, let's go every other day. Hey, man,
Yeah, I know.
Okay, who feels like, fuck it, let's do this twice a day, get in the best shape of our lives?
I'm not here, but I'm going to volunteer though.
Okay, how about this for an experiment? This week we do every day, and if at the end of the week you guys are like, dude, this is getting a little crazy, then we can take it back to every other day. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Guys, you trained very, very impressive today. Looking out over the room, watching the thing, the thought going through my mind the whole time I watch you spar is, this room's going to make a lot of fucking champions. You guys trained very, very well. So impressive stuff, fellas. Let's go get some rest, get ready for tomorrow. Good stuff, guys.